Hey guys, I'm Charbria Shine and welcome back to Max Out Girl. Okay, so today we are continuing our love series and we're talking about being unlucky in love because we know tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So I have a very special guest, my husband. Hey man.
Hey, how you doing?
Louis Shine, how you feeling today?
I'm good, how you doing?
I am good. So yes, we want to encourage singles today because we know Valentine's Day is tomorrow. We know how it is. If you follow us, you know that that's kind of our specialty to encourage singles. I've had the Single and Satisfied movement for over 6 years. And we've just been encouraging singles who are waiting for their spouse, who might feel discouraged, who might feel like, man, where are you, God? I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, and I'm waiting for this husband or this wife. So we just want to encourage you guys today. But before we get into our topic, I want you to go ahead and subscribe below. Put those notifications on, check those, and share this with somebody. Because every Monday, I do a new episode. And Tuesdays through Fridays, I do Empower Hours in the morning, which is just a few short moments of just encouraging you to max out and just to have a great day. So let's get to it, babe. Okay, so let's talk about this unlucky in love. Like, I feel like sometimes the pressure of Valentine's Day, it hits us all, even when you're married sometimes. But when you're single, I feel like you can find yourself sad or depressed or feeling lonely because you see all the propaganda, right? You see all the commercials with, people going out on dates, getting the rings, getting engaged even. You see the flowers, you see the gifts, you see everything, So what would you say to that person? Because I feel like, it's so easy to get discouraged especially during like the holiday season and Valentine's Day season.
Yeah, so, when I look back on my singleness, I personally spent a lot of time trying to figure out where she is, where's my wife, and, Lord, where is she? Are you sending her? And, I can't say that was the whole time, but some of the time I can reflect and see myself doing that. And in essence, you can kind of rob yourself of time that you can be enjoying yourself.
Okay.
Because when you get married, there's no more self-time. There's self-time if you take it, but what I'm saying...
that sounds bad.
what I'm saying is, I didn't mean it like that, but singleness.
Gotcha.
Time to be single where you can freely move as you want to without the obligation of, or the care or concern of a spouse.
Yeah.
And so, what I would say to people in those situations, I know it can be challenging, but you want to embrace your single season. You want to embrace those holidays where it's just you. And it's not to say that you can't go hang around friends or maybe go out on a date or whatnot. But when you get into the mode of embracing who you are, which is a full-time job, and embracing your single season in perspective that one day I am going to be married and there's going to be no more single season, then I think, one that may find themselves in that position of not being able to have someone in the holidays, it'll be a brighter perspective.
Yeah.
And you can learn to embrace that time and enjoy it, knowing that one day I'm going to have someone, but I'm going to enjoy this time because this is not going to last forever.
Yeah. No, you said something that's really key. He said, enjoying this time, like your holidays and your singleness, because one day I'm going to be married or with someone. I feel like that's the key because sometimes people don't believe that. They feel unlucky in love. I know what we're talking about. They feel like they're sad and moping around because maybe you feel like, man, it's never going to happen for me, or I've been waiting, I've been praying, but you have to have faith. And so if you have faith, then you can be excited about this time because you're like, man, one day I'm going to have my boo or my bae. But sometimes when we lack faith or we're discouraged because it's taken so long, we find ourselves, that's when you mope and you feel sad and depressed. Because once I got single and satisfied, because it was a time I was miserable, once I realized man, I'm the prize, right? The word says, he who finds a wife that finds good things. So I just quote that scripture and trust God, sow that into my heart so I can believe it, first of all, because I feel like if you don't believe it, you're going to be sad and depressed. And you're going to speak things like, I'm always going to be single. I'm never going to have nobody. And that is so disheartening. But when you sow that word and you encourage yourself, you're like, oh, my time is coming. So let me enjoy this time with myself and my friends. And you don't have to be alone. Like he said, be with friends. make girls trips, or have stuff to do on Valentine's Day. Maybe you want to have a girls night or girls party, or maybe you just want to have a date night with yourself and have a Netflix night and buy yourself roses. Like, I learned in my singleness to celebrate myself. So I love flowers, and that's what I did. Like, we did the 14-day, and then it changed to 7-day Single and Satisfied challenge around Valentine's Day, and we bought ourselves flowers, and we had date nights with ourselves, and we encouraged other singles and gave them gifts. Like, we celebrated. But that was once I decided I'm not going to be miserable because I'm single, because if I'm miserable, I'm not trusting God. And I'm not using this time, I'm not maxing out, girl, as I always say, this season of enjoying it, learning who I am, learning what I want, what I don't want, and just trusting God with the season. But you said something so key, realizing that one day you will be married if that's your desire, and I think sometimes after a certain age, especially after 30 and when you're in your 40s and beyond, you can get really discouraged. What do you feel about the age thing? What would you say to a woman who's like, you know what? I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50, and it sounds cute, sounds nice, y'all married, but I'm not feeling that. What would you say to that woman?
Yeah, let me back up for a second.
Yeah.
And it may seem like, you're listening to this and you're like, well, what are they talking about or whatnot? I can tell you for a fact that now that we're married, I can look back and say, you know what? This kind of stuff that if people would have told me this, which I did get some of it, and maybe I didn't listen well, but now that I'm married, I can really look back and speak to, you know what? I should have embraced that more. Not that I didn't have a good single season, because I enjoyed myself in a lot of ways. But when you're in the mental mind space of always, where is she? Where is she at? Where is he? It can really rob you of just your mindset and just your enjoyment. And you can find yourself feeling miserable just because you're not thinking properly.
Yeah. Missing out on that season.
Missing out.
Yeah.
But now that I'm married, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you got to tell singles this, because it was part of my singleness that I wish I would have enjoyed more.
Exactly. Yeah.
But to speak to the age thing, listen, society and the world can put this pressure on you that, hey, you're 30, oh, you got to be with someone. You're 35, you're 40, whatnot. When you trust that God's going to bring that perfect person for you and it's going to match you with someone that's going to complement your destiny and ultimately fulfill his purpose, that's what you really want. You really don't want to rush something and then now later on, you're like, man, why I do this? And you want a divorce and things of that nature. And sometimes it may take time. Now, if you get in faith about it, which I can look back and say, you know what, I feel like I was in faith, but I could see a lot of times where my mouth wasn't lining up with it, with my confession and what I was saying, so I can see where I may have faltered in that. But to answer your question thing, like really, it's not your age. You shouldn't focus on that. You should focus more on, am I becoming what I want to be? And am I preparing myself for the person that I am believing God for?
That's good.
That's the focus, because if you get to where you're 40 and you're 50, I don't think it's so much the age, because if you focus on that, the age will put pressure on you. But it's really, am I preparing? Because God's not going to send someone that you're not prepared for. Yeah. So maybe it's us.
That's good.
If we look at the age and judge that, it's not a real judge. It's not a real indicator. It's the preparation, because he'll bless you if you're preparing for it and if you're really in faith.
No, that's good. And I think in my single season, I had to realize God has a purpose for that season. So I want you to realize that there's things he wants you to accomplish in that season, and in the areas he wants you to grow. And for me, I was able to accomplish a lot because I got out of that woe is me, I'm still single stage. I had to learn that, get out of that, because I was wasting so many days, so many months, so many years just being sad about that, when God wanted me to be productive and wanted me to be successful in certain ways and grow and have joy. So I had to snap out of that and realize there's a purpose in this season. And once I realized that, I did start maxing out in my life. Went back to school, started a business, started a blog, started volunteering, started building my girl tribe, and just starting to live. But there's areas that I feel like I should have grown even more in. And like you said, now that I'm on this side of marriage, I realized there was things that could have been were holding me back that I should have propelled in, instead of worrying about, oh, I'm not getting married anytime soon, so whatever. Like for me, saving money, getting those types of things in order. There's certain things that you have to do now that God wants you to do now, so that when you do get married, you're prepared better and you can really fully enjoy that season. And I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in the season we're in that we don't realize there will be another season. But like he said, are you preparing for that? God might want you to accomplish so much before he sent your husband, but you're so caught up and you don't have a husband that you're setting yourself back. You know what I'm saying? You're setting, God's like, okay, I'm trying. It's something, I have a plan for your life, but you're not getting it. You're so caught up in moping and being sad. You're not realizing I want you to accomplish some things now, and then in his timing, he'll bring what you desire. God doesn't send things we're not ready for that we're going to destroy. So there's probably areas that you need to mature in. And I'm not saying that that's why you're still single, because it ain't always that. Sometimes it's just not the timing and you're working through things. Sometimes God's setting up things in his life and your life, and because that's what I believe he did for us. Like, we got married in mid-30s, you're almost 40, you were almost 40 at the time, and we met, but God did a quick work. Like, we got engaged after 7 months of knowing each other, married within a year of knowing each other. We got married the same day we met, a year later. So you might feel like, man, I'm already 45, I gotta meet somebody, we got a date, it's gonna take forever. We met, we was like married like that. Yeah. And I thank God it was a God thing, because in the natural, I'm like, that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But God did it. So trust God. That sounds easy. It might sound cliche, but it's the truth. Yeah. I had nights of crying and praying and calling my accountability partner and hanging out with my family, or, or spending that quality time with God when it was so hard. You're going to have to fight for what's worth it, though. And the wait, it is so worth it. Don't feel good during the wait. Right. But you can enjoy your single season and pad it with fun and growing and opportunity and just a great life. Because when you get married, it's still a great life. It's just a different season, like you said, where you have to be more conscious of another person, another human being. And when you get together with that person, it's going to magnify your flaws and your weaknesses, because now you have someone who sees that every day. So it's going to be more awareness of yourself. So spend time now being aware of who you are and what areas you want to grow in.
Yeah, and there's so much of a emphasis that should be put on the preparation side.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, and I get it. The pressure can be there. Yeah. Everyone's with somebody on Valentine's Day.
So it seems
all those things. Yeah. Yeah. But and the media can do a great deal of pressurizing things for you.
Especially women.
Yeah, movies, commercials, all of those kind of things. But here's the thing, like, when your time comes to actually have those enjoyable date nights and Valentine's Day, those things are going to take money and things of that nature. It may seem like, oh yeah, whatever. But when you get into life and marriage and you have to take care of bills, and for me, you have a whole wife to take care of and things of that nature, and then children, and then now I want to buy the bouquet of roses and the nice dinner and things like that. That's no longer like, hey, that's just a free thought. That's like, hey, we got to look at the budget and make sure things. So that kind of life for you, where you have that person with you and that you can do those things with, that you like, I want that right now. Hey, what I'm saying is embrace where you are. Enjoy. Go get with some girlfriends. Go get with some fellas, if you're a guy listening to this, and hang out for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, have fun.
Or get a group of friends from the opposite sex. Hey, group of guys, group of ladies, we just gonna hang out and go
movie night or something.
Get creative with it, and don't put the pressure on yourself so much. I gotta have somebody. Everybody else has someone.
Yeah.
Because that's what really can put that pressure. And when you begin, I believe, listening to things like this, I hope that it can help you have the perspective of, you know what, I don't need to put too much pressure on this, because those days are going to come where you're going to have somebody. I can look back a few years ago where it seems like, man, where is this person? I remember I moved to Charlotte and I'm looking for that person. I'm like, you know what, I can't do this anymore because it's putting pressure on me. I'm just going to live my life and be where I'm at and trust God that he knows my address. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here I am going on 4 years married. It happens quicker than you think. So it's better to start preparing for what you want in the future, because what you want can come just like that.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're looking at, I'm on 4 or 5 years of being married now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And something I want to point out is don't let a man-made holiday put pressure on your life and make you feel like you're incomplete. Yeah, I love to celebrate. If you watch me, you follow me, I'm all about it. However, I am, however, I celebrate because it's Monday, right? But I learned to do that in my singleness without a man. You know what I'm saying? But I also learned that if my finances weren't there or I didn't have the new dress, I also had to learn it's okay. It's a man-made holiday. It's going to come every year. And this day does not define my life, my value, my worth. So you have to, even when you get married, you get somebody, you may not have the finances to do everything you want to do. It's okay. Again, it's a man-made holiday, fun holiday. But the thing about it is, it does not define who you are. So you don't have to put so much pressure on it. It's some Valentine's days, I'm like, I want to stay home in my PJs and watch movies. I don't want to be out and about. I don't want to dress up. I don't want to have to post pictures on social. And you don't have to give into that pressure. Do that because you genuinely want to do it, not because everybody else doing it, I got to do it. You don't have to do anything. You can enjoy that day like it's another day, like it's not even a holiday if you want. You don't have to even acknowledge it. Do you? That's all I'm saying. Like, if you want to acknowledge it and have fun, do that. If it's not a big deal, don't feel pressured. We're married, and I had to learn, even as a married couple, I don't have to feel pressure to spend a whole bunch of money on a holiday because social media or society says, because now you married, you got to do that. I had to learn that, like, no, we're going to do what's within our budget because we got goals. We got goals, okay? So even though in my mind it's like, we got to spend all this money on Valentine's Day, we have a different perspective right now. Now we're like, we're saving, we want to do investments, we want to save for our kids, so our mindset's a little different. However, yes, we could put, Valentine's Day in the budget, of course, but we don't feel that pressure of, it gotta be like this because the world says it. The world is not controlling our life or our marriage. So don't feel so pressured because of Valentine's Day. So we wanted to do this called Unlucky in Love because you might feel like you've been unlucky in love. However, stay encouraged. If you desire someone, God has that for you. He does. God created marriage. Why wouldn't he want to give you something he created, right? Some people are like, maybe it's my, God's purpose for me to be, or will for me to be single. I used to think that. But then God was like, I'll give you your heart's desires, the desires of your heart. As you seek him, if he puts that desire in your heart, it's of him, right? As you live for him, as you're reading your word, you're praying, you love him, you have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, if that desire is still there, then that desire is for you. So don't let somebody who's bitter or disappointed or maybe even hurt or just, and tell you that maybe you're just meant to be single, or maybe you're the one that feels that way. That's not necessarily true, sis. Sometimes when we're disappointed or it's taken long, we're impatient or we feel discouraged or disheartened or hopeless, then we give up. You just got to start quoting that word. Lord, you promised to give me the desires of my heart. And it's he who finds a wife and finds a good thing. I thank you that my Boaz or my husband finds his good thing, which is me. You got to start saying that. Even when your friend's like, girl, you still single? You got to say, no, my Boaz is coming. My husband is here. You got to speak boldly because the power, life and death, the power of life and death is in the tongue. So what you speak, you're going to have. So I just want to encourage you. You have to say something different, even though you don't see it with your natural eyes. You got to start speaking what you want because God's given that power to you. Like marriage, he created it. You desire it, he got it for you. But what are you doing with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's so important. And like I said earlier, preparation time is never wasted time, because when you get over to this side and you're married, I can look back at several things that I'm like, man, I should prepare for that a little more.
Yeah.
While I was boo-hooing over here, I could have been doing this. I could have been saving more. Or I could have been, making sure that I was doing certain things to be able to be more prepared to create a home environment, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case. And that's, my challenge for you all that's listening to this and watching this is begin to prepare. If you want that person, I'll tell you a quick story before we end here that I knew someone that they wanted a husband, and because they wanted that, they knew that, with the word, faith without works is dead. So they started putting some feet to their faith and said, you know what, I want this person, so I'm going to start handling my house as if there was a husband. I'm going to start shopping and doing certain things around the home.
Cleaning up the house.
Cleaning up, doing certain things. And And sometimes we despise those things because we're not, we just want the person, but everything else is a wreck in the home and finances. We want this person. But let's get that in order. You'll probably be surprised how fast that person might show up on the scene. So, embrace the preparation.
And that's not to say you have to be perfect. We definitely work.
Right.
No one ever is. We still working through it. Right. But as much as you know and as much as you can, prepare. Because it'll make you, especially the beginning of your years in marriage, so much more peaceful, joyful, because you have prepared properly. So, anything else? We're gonna go ahead and close.
Yeah, just during this season, whether you're watching this, right before Valentine's Day or any other holiday, because that pressure can be any holiday. It can be Christmas. Oh, I have my person. If you're watching this, we just want you to be encouraged that your person's going to come, but embrace your time being single. Take yourself out. Go to a movie. I used to love going movies by myself. Buy yourself a bouquet of roses.
I always buy myself.
Go enjoy yourself, because when you can really enjoy yourself and who you are in your own skin, it's going to be so much more better, if I can say it that way.
More better.
When you're with someone. But you'll find that if you can't enjoy yourself
and love
yourself and enjoy time alone by yourself, when you get with a person, it's going to be almost like time with that person is not even enough, because you haven't made yourself whole in the area of spending time alone.
Wholeness,
So enjoy this time. Embrace your season, your single season where you are, and trust God and know that it's coming for you. But embrace who you are and where you are right now.
Well, thank you, Lewis, for joining me today, babe. So I do have resources for singles, because I love singles. Like, I've been there, done that, and had the Single Satisfied movement. We love to pour to singles. So you can always go to my website, charbria.com or charbriashine.com either, and go to the store. And I have several books, ebooks and regular books. The Single and Satisfied, The Single Woman's Guide to Fulfillment. I also have The Single Woman's Guide to Valentine's Day. That's an ebook. The Single Woman's Dating Guide. I have a course, Dating with Intention, that's really good just to get some basics of dating. And then I have my stage play, which is just something good, but it covers a lot of topics with singles, but it's in a dramatic form, right? It's a stage play that I wrote and I'm starring in, which is Single Woman Chronicles. We have that as well. So check those resources out, or if you know someone single, like, it's to be a blessing, it's to encourage you and to help you. So make sure you check those things out. Also, March 3rd, I gotta get hyped. We have our Women in Purpose Empowerment. This is going to be awesome. March 3rd, 6:30 to 9:30 if you're in the Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana area. That is also on my website. Just click on events. We have a lot of events that will be coming up soon, so check all of those out. But March 3rd, it's going to be a great time, powerful, packed. Women are going to be just encouraging you. It's also a celebration of Women's History Month and Women's International Day. So just check it out. We're going to have a great and fun time. Vendor shopping, food, you name it, you know how it gets down. So that's it for today. And so again, you can follow me at Charbria Shine. You can follow my husband at Lewis Shine. And also the podcast at Max Out Girl. Again, make sure you subscribe, share this. Every Monday, new episode, every Tuesday through Friday, an Empower Hour, just empowering morning message for you guys on my YouTube channel. And I don't want you guys to miss a thing, so click the notifications bell as well. So I hope that we said something today that encouraged, inspired, and elevated your thinking. And always remember to max out, girl. I'm Charbria Shine. Talk to you next time. Bye, guys.